So I just got this idea randomly right now, and I set up and I'm here. I don't ever script anything. I did it like once or twice, and I don't know. I just find it so much easier to turn things on and just go. But I did get this idea, and I thought it was a
I
pretty
will
nice
not
thing to talk
rest
about.
until I return
Personally,
to my
something I
world
think
once
about
more.
here and there.
The enemy has
I want to talk
arrived.
about I suppose, how Marvel Rivals, more specifically, addresses the situation of the quote unquote skill diff between console and PC. Now, starting off, I want to talk about aim. That's definitely a big thing. How different is aim to PC? And I think, as a putting credits to myself, I have played console my entire life. Literally, was born with a controller. Like, not even joking. So, I would say my aim has definitely. I mean, I'm literally just here. I haven't warmed up or anything, so it might be bad right now. But I would say it's definitely above average. I think there is many people with worse aim than me, and I think I have consistent moments where my aim is very good, and I know the warm ups, and I know how to do them, and when it's good, when it's bad, when it feels
The
good,
enemy has
what
arrived.
sensitivity it should be at, and stuff like that. However, I don't think there is truly a comparison to make between console and PC aim. I think PC aim will always be better. I think it will always be superior, no matter what type of controller modifications you have, know what kind of skill you have, talent you have. It doesn't matter. It's just using the whole arm is will always be superior to just using your thumbs on the joystick, right? So why I'm playing Psylocke as well is on topic because
You're mine.
Psylocke is a very aim-heavy
Double
character.
kill.
You have to hit your shots, which is going to be useless.
That's
And
three.
I've seen some arguments where it's not hard to aim with her, but that's not
The
true.
enemy has arrived.
So maybe in like lower elos, like metal ranks and diamond, you don't really have to go for supports. You don't have to go for skinny hitbox
Double
characters,
kill.
right? Like Cloak and Dagger, her hitbox is literally a twig. Even another Psylocke, literally a twig. Hella, very
That's
small
three.
hitbox. I mean, her body shape is literally
Wow, four in a row.
not human. So that is incredibly
It's
hard to
amazing.
hit when they're moving. Even standing still, you can get a little jittery and a little tense. That's the same on PC and console.
Unbelievable.
That's something I'll touch on too. But in what I'm getting at is higher ranks, you don't really have a choice. You can't just shoot the tanks. You can't just frontline as Psylocke. You can't just kind of go off angles. You have
Here they come
to
now.
flank. You have to do a lot more movement around the enemy team and your team and so on, going to the enemy healers, the supports, because obviously we can all agree healers are the most important role in the game. They keep everyone alive. You need to get them out. Your job as Psylocke is to flank them and kill them.
Double kill.
Now, this is where it becomes very hard
You're mine.
because they're moving, of course, and they're healing themselves and so on. You need to hit your shots. You need to hit your combos. If you miss, your value is squandered. It's gone. It's not there. You're
Yes, I know where.
trash. You should just leave the team. Swap. Because again, you need to hit them to have value. If you
Double
don't, for
kill.
example, right here, let's say this is a healer. Oh, I'm getting too tense. I'm scared. Everyone's shooting at me.
Step
Gotta
aside.
leave. Invis out. That healer is back to full HP right now and healing
The
the
enemy
team.
has arrived.
Your value, there's nothing there. You did nothing. You just wasted time. So, I would say it's a lot harder on console to do that compared to PC, and
Double kill.
I've seen some good console
That's
aim, but
three.
it never compares to PC. Like, I literally just was watching J3. You probably know him. he plays Psylocke every now. His aim, obviously, on PC is amazing. He's like top 500, one of the best Psylocks, I'd say, just because he plays her at that level. He flanks. He can always distract the support super well. On console, even with aim assist, it's hard. You're gonna miss a lot, and I've seen some Psylocks on console kind of do it, but I'm curious how consistent it truly is. Obviously, it's somewhat consistent if they keep rising in the ranks and playing at the ranks that I'm at, which is around Celestial. So it's not the worst, but it's definitely not something you could ever truly match to, you see? Another thing I want to hit on is the melee characters. So when it comes to melee, aim is also in the question. Say, for example, Black Panther's kind of... He's almost like a bullet himself, right? So, with magic, it's a good melee character to talk about. Obviously, you're going to be using the dash a lot in combo, but obviously you're also going to be using just the plain swing a lot. You don't necessarily need to aim with the swing, right? That's not really the point. Like, you need to aim like 5% of this, right? That's a pretty nice swing range. You can even go a little bit, like, you can go pretty far away. A lot of times I've hit people who are like a Spider-Man swinging away. I hit him just at the edge of the hitbox. So that's a way that Marvel Rivals kind of eases the skill gap of PC and console, is that they added melee heroes. Now, melee heroes has a very different approach than, say, Psylocke. Psylocke is all aim. Melee heroes is more all positioning. That's a whole other thing. Positioning and game sense, game knowledge, map knowledge, and mechanical skill are all the things you really have to take into account when playing a melee hero, because obviously aim is out of the question. But it definitely comes with different risks, and if you have bad game sense, say this person's shooting at me, if I'm coming from the front, by the time I get one swing, I'm dead. I'm coming from the front. Obviously, better game sense would be coming from behind, doing combos, knowing the better animation cancels, knowing the better combos, knowing what to do on combos. For example, Luna is 275, so doing that one-shot combos her. However, that doesn't. It's vital to know you need the slash to finish her, because if you don't, she will get healed in time. When you're in higher ranks, they get healed so fast. It's very, very difficult to even get off a one-shot combo as magic because of how snappy it is, and that's great, you know, that healers are that good at that level, because they need to be. Personally, I would like to see more of that in my games, but, you know, guess you win some, you lose some, right? Anyway. So, obviously, on console, this is almost a little easier than on PC, I would say. It's like a fighting game. I don't think you would necessarily want to play Tekken or Street Fighter on PC, because it's just so much more comfortable holding a controller and doing those inputs. Like, it's just more comfortable and better when you're doing those inputs and those movements with your fingers. It's less tiring. It's less, it's, you know, I'd say probably milliseconds quicker, and in a game at a high level, that does matter. So I would say that it definitely does a good job at easing the skill gap when you get to play melee characters, while also not completely making everything easy mode. And because when you get rid of aim,
Wow, 4 in a row.
it takes a lot of the difficulty out of it, and then you have to put that difficulty into something else. So the risk is you have to get close. I can't do anything away from this guy. I can slash him even if I fully charge him. I mean, this will take him. I mean, even that was fully charged and it didn't. So you have to think way, way, way more about a lot more stuff than compared to Psylocke, where you're kind of like, oh, he's weak. Okay, dead. Oh, he's weak. Get the combo off. Dead. Right, it's a different ball game, and just I would say easier on console than PC. And that comes into another topic of what we were talking about before, game sense and
I was chosen by Bast.
You know, map knowledge, mechanical skill, and I'm glitched in the map. This is also part of the video. Yeah, this is meaningful. Getting caught in a glitch spot, super great. Nah, but game sense is huge, and that does not have a difference between PC and console. That is not different. That is important to note. Not different. There is no difference in game sense, map knowledge, all of that sort of umbrella topics in that department. There's no difference.
My aim is true.
It is very vital to, if you're gonna climb or want to climb, to have.
Prepare yourselves.
I'll just say game sense as an umbrella term right now. To have good game sense. If you don't, like I said before, you're gonna come in from the front, but you're gonna die. You're gonna get stunned before you can do anything, whether a hit stand or melee, projectile, whatever. Especially on Black Panther, which is why I'm Black Panther. Black Panther is a character who has a very, very high skill ceiling. And he's also a melee hero. I mean, it's a little funny to call him a melee hero because he's like a projectile himself. It's, you know, when you dash, when you kick, you're moving yourself. But, I mean, it's considered melee. It's way easier to say melee, so I'll just say melee. If you do not have good game sense on Panther, you're gonna get destroyed. You're gonna die. Panther doesn't have a lot of mechanics. He doesn't have a lot of abilities either. He has the spear, he has the kick, he has the dash, and the double jump that is for some reason on a cooldown. Then his own, which has a few things to it as well. This isn't a Panther guide though, so I'm not gonna really go over it. But the reason the skill ceiling is so high is because, one, he's melee, and two, he doesn't have a lot of mechanics. So, how does Marvel Rivals solve not needing to aim, not really worrying about even projectile melee that much? They put it all into game sense. And you can see that is the same between PC and console. There's a bunch of bad Panthers on both platforms.
That's 3.
So adding Panther into the game was kind of a genius idea. I mean, he is a dive character, and I know people kind of hate dive, and it's a very unfun thing to play against. I agree, personally. I think it's hell to play against, and it's literally like, you gotta work like overtime. I mean, there's the chasm combo, is what it's called. Spear, spear, dash, dash.
Double KO.
Like, it kills you in like 0.5 seconds. And that's where game sense comes in. So, I think it's brilliant. I think that Marvel Rivals, if I'm praising the game and not complaining, did a great job at combining the both of the skills of adding hit scan heroes and very, very heavy aim reliant heroes like Hela. Hela is all aim as well. If you don't hit your shots as Hela, you're completely useless. Might as well just quit the team. But if you're a melee hero and you don't have good game sense or good mechanical skill, you just miss your dashes like this,
You brought ice to a
then
sword fight.
you might as well quit as well. I was gonna make this kind of about just the console PC argument, but I suppose that's been talked about before, and I figured linking it to Marvel Rivals would be a way better idea. And I also hate about this game a lot. I literally just made a video about raging about it because the matchmaking is so bad. I really like. Oh man, that was a rough one. This game needs to give me Celestial. I'm gonna crash out again. If I don't get Celestial before this season's over, I'm gonna lose it. It happened again, by the way. It literally happened again. I was one game off and I lost it for like the 5th time. Unbelievable. Anyway, that was just a sidebar. Again, I don't script these. I kind of don't know what to talk about next. The abilities are cool on melee heroes. It's not a projectile, but again, I think that it's a good combo. It's a good mesh. I wish it had more skill expression. This is another good topic. I wish there was a little more skill expression. This is one of the reasons I play Panther so much, is because he has a lot of skill expression. You, need to hit your spears. He doesn't have a lot of mechanics, however, within those mechanics, there's a lot of nuance, you could say. You need to hit your spear, not the hardest thing, and has a pretty decent AoE. You need to hit your dashes. That is a lot harder than you would think, as the characters move around a lot. I can even show you right now if I just go here. A lot of Panther players will warm up with just a character. We won't even make him go left and right. We can make it go random. I can show you just how easy it is to miss this. A lot of people want him nerfed. I mean, I'm kind of like, I've played a lot of Panther, but I'm not warmed up at all, so it should be pretty good. Pretty good example of how it feels to just... Okay, I'm not missing. But... See, like that. That was a moment, like a... Okay, please miss. There you go. I missed her. The reason Panther's skill ceiling is so high is because if you miss, you do not get a dash reset. I don't have a reset. I can't do anything. I can catch, but there's still 2 people. They're low, but I can't do anything about it. Still, no dash. Kill 2 people, sure, but then I get obliterated. So, again, high skill ceiling. You need to really know what you're doing. However, this is not the highest skill ceiling I have ever seen.
Of just a regular squirrel. Double KO.
Not quite the most difficult thing, right?
Tippy-toe spotted bad guys.
And now, not every character needs to have a high skill ceiling. Of course, you want those characters that are easy just for, you know, people who maybe just need an easier time playing those characters. You know, doesn't need to be sweaty every character. Fair enough, of course. I'm all for that. All for making people have an easier time. That's completely fine. However, I think there is a little too much forgiveness for a lot of the characters. For example, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a big debate.
It's up to us to help the people who can't help themselves.
I think that Spider-Man has a high skill ceiling, but he has a little too much escape.
Round and pound.
I know that might be a little controversial to say.
Double KO.
Maybe, maybe not. But I do. I think that he does not do quite a lot of damage. but his speed and his ability to get in and out and
Watch out, they're
survive,
headed our way.
it might be
Gonna
a tad
get
high.
sticky.
Now, obviously, the reason for that is because he is 215 hero, and there's a lot of things that counter him and stop him, and his damage is low. His combos are quite hard to pull off, and quite hard to know and pull off in the heat of battle. You know,
Spider-Fist
mid-game,
is
when you're
ready to
tense
punch.
and you're worried, it's like you're just gonna miss everything and you'll get spooked. But a whole lot of escape. So, example, you're swinging in, right?
Gonna get
You're
sticky.
swinging in, and you're going for a healer. Oh, you just missed. Everyone's looking at you. You're gone. They can't do anything. You're gone. You can B-hop away. Swing away. Right. And there's even like a little tech with his webs to kind of like make him swing a
Watch
little
out, they're headed
longer.
our way.
See if I can just do it right now. It's easy to do, like right here. You have to hit like a right angle. Not a literal right angle, but the right angle. Where you can kind of just go really fast and like swing for a really long time. But this is just one of the characters. Another character would be, say, oh, here it is. Like that. Say, Wolverine, maybe, with his passive. He has a lot of forgiveness. I say Magic doesn't. I think if Magic gets caught in a bad spot, she has a lot of skill expression, because if she gets caught in a bad spot, she's game over. She's dead. Stoller, which is a very mechanically easy character. You have auto aim, you have a AoE explosion, you have a pretty easy fadeaway.
Be right back.
It got nerfed to be a little shorter, but her range on her beam is quite long, and she has a very easy fadeaway.
Double KO. Your
You know, I would almost make the argument. Oh God, Star-Lord too. Before I go into that, I'll talk about Star-Lord.
Oh, sweet moves, right?
He can go invincible like 2 times and it recharges quickly, and then he can zoom around for ages. But I want to make the argument that I think they kind of gave the survivability to the wrong people. Now, don't get me wrong, these people need to have survivability. However, I think it does lower the skill expression to have so many escapes and so many oh my God. Invincibility moments is what I'm trying to say. A lot of characters have a lot of invincibility moments and abilities, and they probably could have made it a little bit different. And I think they probably could have given that to not given that specifically to the healers, but I talked about this before.
All I ever wanted to do
I
was
talked about
see
this a few times actually, that the healers basically have so little escape options unless you're like playing 3 of the healers that have them. Luna Snow, really good healing output, but has like no survivability, like at all, to the point where it's kind of actually crazy and damaging.
Do I feel like a girl?
I talked about you should probably just make her ice skating mode run an ability mode where you can kind of turn it on and then you can't do anything but run. I think that would be a great idea for her to be more survivable, because right now she's literally just a walking time bomb.
There they
If
are.
any
So
diver
what do I
sees
do
her,
for an
she's dead.
encore?
She's not surviving that. Even if people peel for her, the diver can probably kill her so quickly.
Double KO. You're a little underdressed, aren't you?
So, I'm getting a little off topic here, and I kind of have to go soon. So I'll end this before I get too long into this sidebar, because this is getting off topic for a little bit now, and I extended this video probably by like 8 minutes by doing that. I think Marvel Rivals did a pretty good job at meshing the skill gap of console and PC. It could have been a little better,
Do I throw like a girl?
but they definitely tried. And I do like that. I respect that. I respect that they put melee heroes like
When
Magic
things
and
get
Panther
tense, the
into the
dark
game.
child tends to come out.
And that's just one of the melee heroes. There's not a lot. There's not like a lot of melee heroes. There could have been more.
Double KO!
But I think this is a very healthy thing. And honestly, the next DPS they put into the game, I think it should be melee. I do. I think there's a lot of very strong hit scan and projectile characters in this game. I mean, there's Hela, there's Punisher, Bucky. Those characters are game runners. They run it. If they're in their game and they're good, they're gonna destroy it. I mean, same goes for melee, but the skill expression is just so unique. It's so unique, and I really, really like it. So I do hope whatever they add next is going to be melee. Anyway, that's it.